The small exploratory ship, Odyssey, hummed quietly as it drifted near the edge of human-mapped space. Stars stretched endlessly around them, some distant suns glowing faintly, others bright and unyielding. Captain Alara Jensen sat in the command chair, hands lightly resting on the control panel, her eyes scanning the glowing displays. It was supposed to be a routine test of the ship's new experimental warp drive, a small jump farther than any human ship had attempted before. The crew had trained for months, running simulations, testing emergency protocols, and imagining every possible problem, but no simulation could prepare them for what was about to happen. "Coordinates locked," said Lieutenant Tariq, the ship's navigation officer, his voice steady despite the tension in the cabin. "All systems green for the jump," Alara nodded. "Engage warp." A low hum grew into a roar as the Odyssey disappeared into a ribbon of light. The stars stretched into lines, and for a brief moment, the crew felt as if they were floating between realities. Then, just as suddenly, everything stopped. The stars outside the viewport looked different, closer, sharper, alien. Colors shimmered along the edges of what should have been empty space. The crew exchanged uncertain glances. "Captain, something's wrong," Tariq said, his voice tight. "This isn't our mapped coordinates." Ilara's fingers danced over the control panel, double-checking the instruments. "Check the warp logs," she ordered. "Did we overshoot?" "We didn't," Tariq replied. "The warp drive seems fine, but the sensors are reading something else." A warning light blinked on the console. "Unidentified stellar structures detected." Alara leaned forward, squinting at the data. The readings were impossible. Massive constructs, some spanning hundreds of kilometers, hovered in space, glowing with energy that humans had never encountered. Some looked like crystalline spires, others like floating cities, and between them, massive fleets of ships patrolled in precise formations. "What is this place?" whispered Dr. Lila Vance, the ship's science officer. Her voice was soft, almost reverent. "It's beautiful and huge. I've never seen anything like it." Ilara's jaw tightened. "It's also heavily monitored. Look at those patrol patterns. They're organized, coordinated, advanced." Tariq's face went pale. "Captain, they've detected us. Multiple sensor locks. We're on their radar." Ilara felt a sudden, unfamiliar knot of tension. Humans had explored far, but this was uncharted territory. And now the Odyssey was trapped in it. "Open a channel," she said, trying to sound calm. "Let's make first contact." Carefully. Static filled the cabin for a moment, then a deep, resonant voice spoke in perfect common, the universal language humans used in space diplomacy. "Unidentified vessel, you have entered restricted space of the Galactic Empire. Identify yourselves immediately and prepare to be boarded." The words struck the crew like a thunderbolt. The Galactic Empire, humans had heard tales of it in old transmissions. A civilization spanning thousands of systems, powerful, disciplined, and feared by almost every species in the galaxy. And here they were, right in its territory. Ilara's mind raced. "Tariq, status? Shields at 50%. They're closing fast. We could try to escape, but their fleet is massive. And their ships, Captain, they're unlike anything we've faced. Energy weapons, shields faster than anything humans have developed." Ilara exhaled slowly. She had faced danger before, but never like this. "We can't outrun them. We need another option." Dr. Vance looked up, eyes wide. "Captain, if we surrender, they'll take us. But if we fight, we won't survive." Ilara met her gaze. "Or we could do what humans always do. We adapt." The crew exchanged uncertain glances. Humans had always been resourceful, often underestimated by other species. But could resourcefulness match the might of the Galactic Empire? Ilara made a decision. "Prepare evasive maneuvers. And Tariq, run every system diagnostic again. I want options." As the Odyssey twisted and turned through the alien formations, the crew marveled at the beauty and scale around them. Floating platforms glowed with energy. Massive ships patrolled in perfect harmony, and between them stars shone with a clarity they had never seen before. It was breathtaking. "And terrifying, Captain," Tariq said, voice tense. "They're not just patrolling. They're surrounding us. This is tactical, coordinated. They're playing with us." Ilara's eyes narrowed. "Good. Then they're predictable. Use that." For the next few minutes, the crew worked like a single organism. Engines pushed the Odyssey to its limits, sensors scanned for weak points, and Dr. Vance calculated trajectories through gaps in the patrol grid. It was a dangerous dance, a test of skill, instinct, and courage. Then, unexpectedly, one of the massive patrol ships broke formation and approached. It was enormous, dwarfing the Odyssey, yet it moved with precision and grace. The Empire had noticed something. But what? "Open the channel," Alara said. "I want to hear them." The voice returned, calm but authoritative. "Unidentified vessel. You are performing unauthorized maneuvers in restricted space. Do not attempt escape. State your intent." Alara considered the options. They could lie, they could surrender, or they could bluff. Humans were known for boldness. They often faced danger head-on. "We are explorers," she said finally. "Our intent is peaceful. We seek knowledge and understanding. We did not know this space was restricted." A pause. Then the voice spoke again. "Peaceful or not, you are in a dangerous position. You have one opportunity to comply. Prepare to be boarded or face destruction." Alara leaned back in her chair. The crew waited, tense. Fear was present, but so was a spark of something else. Human defiance, courage, and ingenuity. "Noted," she said quietly. "But we won't give up without thinking." Then the unthinkable happened. The Empire's patrol ship fired a warning beam, not at the ship itself but at the space near it. A massive energy pulse illuminated the void, showing the Odyssey just how outmatched they were. Tariq shouted, "Captain, shields are holding, but this is too strong. We can't survive a direct hit." Ilara's mind raced. Humans had survived impossible odds before. They had always adapted, always found a way, and they would now too. "Listen to me," she said firmly. "We're not surrendering, not yet. We move with intelligence, courage, and speed. Dr. Vance, I want every route analyzed. Tariq, ready the decoy systems. Let's see if they can predict human thinking." For the first time, the crew felt a surge of hope. Humans had faced predators before, situations that seemed hopeless, and somehow, by thinking differently, by acting boldly, they survived. Now, in the vast expanse of a galaxy ruled by an empire, they had to do it again. The Odyssey twisted, turned, and dove through gaps between enormous Imperial ships, using unexpected angles, bursts of speed, and clever tricks no one could have predicted. Each move startled the Empire's patrols, forcing them to adjust, revealing human unpredictability. For a moment, it felt almost like a game, a dangerous, high-stakes game where the rules were unknown, the stakes unimaginably high, and the players, human beings, were fearless in a way no one could anticipate. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time seemed meaningless in the midst of constant maneuvers. The crew began to understand something fundamental. Humans thrived in chaos. Where the Empire saw rules, humans saw possibilities. Where they saw power, humans saw opportunity. And where they saw fear, humans found courage. Finally, as the massive fleets began to regroup, the Odyssey slipped through an unguarded corridor of space. No one knew how, but the humans had done it. For now, at least, they had survived the first encounter with the Galactic Empire. Alara leaned back, exhausted but resolute. "This is just the beginning," she said quietly. "We didn't mean to enter their space, but now that we have, we will not hesitate. We'll survive. We'll learn, and we'll show them what humans can do." The stars stretched endlessly ahead, mysterious and vast. Somewhere beyond those glittering lights lay danger, opportunity, and discovery. And the humans aboard the Odyssey were ready to meet it all, fearlessly, boldly, without hesitation. In that moment, humanity's reputation in the galaxy began, not with conquest, but with courage. The Odyssey drifted through a corridor of alien stars, the glow of distant suns casting soft light across the hull. The crew remained tense, their senses sharp. Every display, every sensor reading was scrutinized. They had survived the first encounter with the Galactic Empire, but they knew the challenge was far from over. Captain Alara Jensen stood in the command center, staring at the holographic projection of the Imperial fleet. The patrol ships had regrouped, forming patterns that were precise and calculated. Every movement was deliberate. Humans might have survived once, but the Empire would not let them wander freely for long. "Captain," Lieutenant Tariq said, pointing at the display. "They're scanning again. This time it's more detailed. They're mapping our systems, our speed, our trajectory, everything," Alara nodded. "Let them. We've learned from them already. Now it's our turn to learn from them." Dr. Lila Vance adjusted her gloves and leaned over the console. "Their technology, it's far beyond ours. Their shields, engines, weapons, everything is more advanced. But I notice patterns in how they move. They're precise, almost predictable. Ilara smiled faintly. Then we exploit the predictability. Human advantage isn't raw power. It's thinking differently, seeing possibilities others overlook. For the next few hours, the crew studied the patrol formations. The Empire's fleet was disciplined, imposing, and terrifying. But the humans noticed something. No matter how perfect the formation seemed, the ships reacted in ways bound by routine, by strategy. Humans, on the other hand, could act unpredictably, and that could turn the odds. "Captain," Tariq said suddenly, his voice tight with excitement, "I've found a gap. A small corridor, lightly monitored. We could slip through undetected if we move fast and precise." Ilara's eyes gleamed. "Do it. But maintain sensors on all sides. Dr. Vance, be ready with emergency calculations if they detect us. Every second counts." The Odyssey surged forward, engines flaring, shields adjusting as it navigated the narrow path. Patrol ships glided nearby, their sensors sweeping the space. Every move had to be exact. One mistake and the humans would be trapped or destroyed. Then it happened. One of the massive patrol ships adjusted its course, its massive silhouette casting a shadow across the corridor. The humans' hearts pounded. This was it, the moment the Empire would strike. But the humans did not panic. "Decoy systems online," Ilara ordered. Bright holographic echoes of the Odyssey appeared, moving in multiple directions, confusing the Imperial sensors. Tariq's hands flew over the controls. "They're tracking one decoy. Shields are stable. Engines at maximum efficiency. We're clear." The Odyssey twisted, a graceful arc that no conventional military fleet could have anticipated. The patrol ship's sensors focused on the decoy, leaving a brief but critical opening. The humans slipped through. For a moment, silence filled the cabin. No alarms, no warnings. Just the hum of the engines and the soft beeping of sensors. Dr. Vance let out a breath she hadn't realized she was holding. "We did it. They didn't see us." Ilara nodded, but she remained cautious. "Not out of danger yet. They'll adapt, and we'll have to be ready to adapt faster." The Odyssey moved deeper into the Empire's space, encountering structures and vessels that defied human understanding. Floating cities with energy bridges, towers of crystal-like material, and massive starships that looked almost alive. The humans were both awed and wary. Every sight reminded them of the stakes. They were in the heart of a civilization more powerful than anything humans had ever faced. Hours turned into days as the crew explored cautiously, learning from every encounter. Small skirmishes with Imperial drones tested their abilities. Each time, humans used creativity, cunning, and boldness to evade capture. They rigged energy pulses to mislead sensors, manipulated asteroid fields for cover, and hacked minor control systems of unattended vessels to create distractions. Through it all, the Imperial observers were growing intrigued. Here was a species that did not conform to fear, routine, or hierarchy. A species that acted with unpredictability and audacity. Reports to the Empire's High Council called the humans peculiar and dangerous, but also remarkably resilient. Ilara studied a map of the Empire's patrol routes with Dr. Vance. They expect fear. They expect hesitation. But humans, we never hesitate. That's what keeps us alive, Dr. Vance nodded. It's more than luck. They can't predict how we think, how we improvise. Every step we take is new to them. The first real test came when the humans discovered a small colony under threat from a massive energy storm. The settlement's inhabitants were an alien species, technologically advanced but trapped by the storm's force. The humans could have passed by, avoid trouble, remain invisible, but they didn't. "Captain," Tariq said, "we could save them. But it's risky. We'd reveal ourselves and the Empire will notice." Ilara's eyes narrowed. "Do it. Humans don't run from responsibility. We help when we can, even if the odds are against us." The Odyssey raced into the storm, shields flaring as energy pulses hammered against the hull. Dr. Vance calculated the safest path, Ilara piloted the ship with precision, and the crew coordinated with the settlement's defenses. In a daring rescue, humans diverted energy flows, stabilized damaged structures, and evacuated civilians to safety. When the storm passed, the settlement's leaders expressed gratitude. Their astonishment at humans' bravery and resourcefulness was clear. "You are unlike any species we have known," one elder said. "You face danger without hesitation. You are remarkable." Back aboard the Odyssey, the crew felt a quiet pride. They had made allies without even trying. And more importantly, they had proven a lesson that humans had always known. Courage, creativity, and decisiveness often mattered more than raw power. But the Empire noticed. The High Council convened, discussing this unexpected species that dared to defy order. Reports described humans as reckless yet ingenious, audacious yet capable of extraordinary acts. For the first time, the Empire's commanders considered not just eliminating intruders but observing them. Perhaps there was something unique about humans, something worth understanding. Ilara sensed the shift. "They're watching us more closely now," she said. "The Empire is curious, and curiosity can be dangerous and useful." The next few days tested the humans' limits. Patrols became more frequent, scanning was more detailed, and subtle traps appeared in previously safe corridors. But humans adapted quickly, using minor star systems, asteroid belts, and uncharted paths. They evaded every attempt to trap them. In one encounter, a fleet of drones attempted to herd the Odyssey into a narrow canyon between two massive planetary rings. Sensors showed the perfect trap, but humans reacted unpredictably. They split energy output, created holographic doubles, and maneuvered through a path the Empire had not anticipated. The drones collided with each other and the humans escaped. "Every move we make is a lesson for them," Ilara said, reviewing the data. "And every move they make is a lesson for us." Dr. Vance looked at her, admiration in her eyes. "Captain, humans are incredible. Even the Empire doesn't fully understand us." Ilara smiled faintly. "We never have. And that's why we survive. That's why we thrive." By the end of the second week, the humans were no longer just intruders, they were becoming something else. They were symbols of audacity, courage, and ingenuity. Their actions inspired the small alien colonies they encountered, earned grudging respect from minor fleets, and forced the Empire to reconsider their initial plan of simple destruction. One evening, as the Odyssey drifted through a field of glowing nebulae, Ilara addressed her crew. "We didn't mean to enter the Empire's space, but now that we are here, we do more than survive. We explore, we learn, and we show what humans can do. Never hesitate. That is our greatest strength." The crew nodded, hearts filled with determination. Humans had stumbled into a galaxy-wide empire by accident, but they had already begun to turn that accident into an advantage. They were unpredictable, courageous, and ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. And the Galactic Empire would soon learn that humans were not a species to underestimate. The stars ahead shimmered with possibility, danger, and opportunity. And as the Odyssey moved forward, the humans aboard it understood a truth that would guide them through every encounter. In the face of overwhelming odds, humans never hesitated. The Odyssey floated quietly through a dense starfield, its hull gleaming softly under the light of distant suns. Captain Ilara Jensen sat in the command chair, reviewing reports from the crew. Every sensor ping, every maneuver, every encounter with the Galactic Empire had been logged, analyzed, and learned from. Humans had survived 2 weeks in a territory where countless other species would have been destroyed in hours. "Captain," Lieutenant Tariq said, pointing at a holographic map, "we've noticed a pattern. The Empire reacts to fear and caution. Every species we've encountered before obeyed, surrendered, or hid. Humans, we don't do that. We improvise. They can't predict us." Ilara nodded. "Exactly. That's our advantage. Their technology is superior, but their thinking is structured, methodical. We break their patterns, we force them to adjust. And adjustment takes time." Dr. Lila Vance leaned over the console, eyes wide. "Captain, look at this. The Empire's fleets are reorganizing every time we make an unexpected move. They're almost studying us now, trying to understand human behavior." Ilara smiled faintly. "Then we give them a show. They'll learn more than they expect, and maybe they'll start to respect what humans can do." For the next several days, the Odyssey continued its cautious exploration. But humans were no longer simply avoiding the Empire. They began testing their limits, learning new skills, and using their ingenuity to turn every encounter into an opportunity. One morning, sensors detected a small colony under threat. A massive asteroid was on a collision course, and the colony had no means to divert it. Humans could have avoided the danger, stayed invisible and preserved their safety. But Captain Alara Jensen had never been one to avoid responsibility. "Prepare for intervention," she said firmly. "We're not just surviving, we're helping. That's what humans do." The Odyssey moved toward the asteroid at full speed. Dr. Vance calculated a trajectory that would use the ship's limited energy beams to deflect the asteroid. The maneuver was dangerous. Any miscalculation, and the ship itself could be destroyed. Tarek's fingers flew across the controls, adjusting engines and shields. "We're aligned, Captain. Calculations ready." Alara's hands gripped the console. "Do it." A brilliant beam of energy shot from the Odyssey, striking the asteroid and nudging it off its path. The colony watched in awe as the massive rock veered harmlessly into empty space. Children cheered, adults gasped, and somewhere in the distance, the faint hum of Imperial scanners picked up the human ship's audacity. When the humans returned to safe space, "Doctor," Vance said quietly, "Captain, we're becoming legends. Even the Empire will notice this." Alara leaned back, her gaze steady. "Good. Let them notice. Humans are more than survival skills. We're courage, creativity, and action combined. That's what makes us unpredictable and powerful." The next encounter was with a small fleet of Imperial patrol drones. The drones surrounded the Odyssey using speed, numbers, and advanced targeting systems. Every other species in the Empire would have surrendered immediately. Humans? They improvised. "Divide shields into 3 sectors," Alara ordered. "Engage countermeasures. Prepare decoys." The crew moved with precision, each action deliberate, each calculation exact. The Odyssey created holographic duplicates of itself, confusing the drones. They manipulated energy flows, creating false sensor signatures that misled the enemy. The drones collided with each other, unsure which was real and which was illusion. "Evasive maneuvers now," Tariq shouted. The ship twisted, dove, and darted in a pattern the Empire had never seen before. One by one, the drones lost track and the Odyssey slipped through. Dr. Vance shook her head in amazement. "They're never ready for this. Every species would have failed, but humans? We adapt." Alara nodded. "That's our advantage. Not technology, not numbers, but human thinking. Fearless, bold, inventive thinking." Word of the humans' actions began to ripple through the Empire. Scouts reported that this species acted without hesitation, without fear, and with astonishing cleverness. Debates erupted in the Imperial High Council. "They are reckless," one commander said. "They should be eliminated." "Perhaps," another replied, "but they are unique. Their methods are unlike anything we have seen. They survive, even thrive, in situations no other species could handle. There is a potential here." The humans had not intended to impress the Empire, but they were. Their courage, ingenuity, and boldness were creating a reputation that would echo across systems. Alara, aware of the growing attention, continued to push boundaries. They explored uncharted systems, scanning and recording, making small interventions where needed. Humans rescued stranded ships, repaired critical structures in alien colonies, and even helped mediate disputes among local species. Each action reinforced a growing truth. Humans were not just survivors, they were problem solvers, innovators, and fearless explorers. During one particularly tense encounter, the Odyssey came upon a massive Imperial energy barrier. Beyond it lay a system with critical data on star formation, a treasure trove for scientific exploration. The Empire's patrols were heavy, but the humans could not resist the opportunity. "Dr. Vance, calculate a bypass," Alara said. "We can't fight them head-on, but we can outthink them." Minutes turned into tense hours as Dr. Vance worked, analyzing energy fluctuations and shield patterns. "Captain, I have it. There's a narrow window when the barrier shifts slightly. We can slip through undetected if we time it perfectly." Alara's fingers flew across the controls. "Engage when ready." The Odyssey accelerated, gliding through the slight opening with precision. Imperial sensors flared and pinged, but the humans were gone before the patrols could react. For the first time, they accessed data that no human had ever seen before, recording and transmitting it for further study. Tariq grinned. They'll be analyzing this for weeks, trying to figure out how we did it. Ilara smiled. And that's the point. Humans are not predictable. We never hesitate. We survive by thinking differently. As days passed, humans began to understand more about the Empire. Its strength was vast, but its weakness lay in rigidity. Its technology was advanced, but its methods were structured. Humans exploited every advantage they could find, not with brute force but with ingenuity, adaptability, and boldness. Colonies and minor species began to notice as well. Whispers spread through the systems about humans, a species that could enter Empire space, act without fear, and emerge unscathed. Some alien species, oppressed by the Empire, began to see humans as symbols of hope and courage. One evening, as the Odyssey drifted near a glowing nebula, Dr. Vance spoke softly. "Captain, I think we're changing the way the galaxy sees humans. Even the Empire respects us now." Ilara looked out at the nebula, her expression calm and determined. "Not respect. Yet. Awareness. We are still intruders. But every action we take teaches the galaxy something new. Humans are bold, fearless, and clever. That's what they will remember." Tariq leaned back, exhaustion on his face. "Do you think we can survive this long-term, Captain?" Ilara's eyes gleamed. "We're already surviving, and survival is not enough. Humans thrive. That's why we'll endure, no matter how vast or powerful the Empire is." The stars ahead stretched infinitely. Unknown challenges awaited, fleets and patrols more formidable than any they had faced. But humans had proven one undeniable truth. Audacity, creativity, and courage could overcome even the greatest odds. And as the Odyssey continued its journey, weaving through the vast expanse of the Empire, humans knew one thing for certain: no matter the danger, no matter the enemy, no matter the scale of the challenge, they would never hesitate. The galaxy was watching. And humans were ready to show what they could do. The Odyssey glided silently through the outer rim of the Galactic Empire, the stars reflecting off its hull like scattered diamonds. For weeks, humans had survived where no other species would dare. But now, the Empire was no longer merely observing. They were acting. A fleet of massive Imperial warships appeared on sensors, forming an intimidating blockade. Their weapons gleamed, energy shields pulsing rhythmically, signaling readiness to strike. Humans had faced smaller patrols, rogue fleets, and automated drones. But this was different. This was the full might of the Empire, and it was closing fast. Captain Ilara Jensen stood in the command center, her expression calm but focused. "Status," she said. Lieutenant Tariq's voice was steady despite the tension. "They've cut off every known exit. Their fleet is larger than any I've seen. Shields at 80%, weapons active, and they're coordinating their attack patterns. If we try to outrun them, we won't survive." Dr. Lila Vance leaned over her console, analyzing the fleet. "Captain, they're predicting our moves faster now. But there's a pattern, an over-reliance on standard engagement protocols. We can use that," Ilara nodded. "Exactly. Humans don't fight like anyone else. We improvise, we adapt, we take risks no one else will. That's our advantage. Prepare the ship for evasive maneuvers and tactical improvisation." The Odyssey shifted position, twisting through space in a way that was almost impossible for conventional fleets to anticipate. The Imperial warships adjusted, but each correction revealed small openings, gaps in formation that humans could exploit. "Captain," Tariq said, pointing to a narrow passage between two gas giants. "If we can get through there, we might escape their line of fire. But it's risky. One miscalculation and we'll be destroyed." Ilara's eyes narrowed. "Do it, but use decoys, countermeasures, and misdirection. Make them think we're going one way while we go another." The Odyssey surged forward, decoys flickering across sensors, holographic doubles spinning in multiple directions. Energy pulses flared, shields shimmered, and the humans twisted their ship with precision that the Empire's commanders could barely track. Yet the Empire adapted quickly. Their fleet split into groups, each focusing on one projected position of the Odyssey. It was a high-stakes game of cat and mouse. Humans were fast, creative, and fearless, but the Empire's firepower was immense. "Captain," Dr. Vance said, her voice tense, "one of their cruisers has locked onto our true position. Their energy cannons are charging. Impact in 10 seconds if we don't act." Ilara's hands flew across the console. "Engage emergency thrusters, fire countermeasures, and launch decoy drones simultaneously." "Hold nothing back!" The Odyssey jerked violently as energy beams lanced through space, but the humans' clever maneuvering saved them. One by one, Imperial ships collided with decoys or misjudged maneuvers, giving the humans small but critical advantages. Hours passed like minutes. Every move tested the humans' ingenuity, courage, and teamwork. The crew anticipated each other's actions, responding instinctively. Every daring twist, every calculated risk, made the humans stronger in the face of overwhelming odds. The Empire's commanders began to realize something they had never expected. This species, primitive by their standards, fought with audacity, ingenuity, and creativity that no training or technology could predict. Reports to the High Council called the humans an anomaly, reckless, resourceful, and dangerous. Ilara spoke calmly to her crew. "They're learning from us, but we're learning from them too. Humans thrive on challenge. The more impossible the situation, the more we excel. Keep moving, keep adapting. Never hesitate." The humans' next bold action came when they detected a critical Imperial supply station vulnerable to interference. Its destruction could disrupt patrols and weaken the blockade, giving humans a strategic advantage. Many species would have avoided such risk. Humans faced it head-on. "Dr. Vance, calculate a rapid infiltration route," Ilara ordered. "We can't fight their fleet directly, but we can outthink them." Minutes later, a plan emerged. The Odyssey would approach under the cover of a dense asteroid field, using gravitational anomalies to mask its energy signature. It was risky, precise, and daring, but humans thrived on such challenges. "Course plotted, Captain," Tariq said. "All systems green. Shields at maximum. Engines ready." The Odyssey accelerated, weaving through the asteroid field with stunning precision. Imperial scanners flared, energy pulses sweeping through space, but the ship slipped through undetected. Within moments, humans were inside the station's vicinity. "Deploy energy disruptors," Ilara commanded. "We'll disable their defense grid long enough to create confusion, not destruction. Remember, we're sending a message, not committing genocide." Disruptors activated, shields flickering, communications scrambled. The humans' actions caused minor chaos among Imperial patrols, forcing them to adjust and recalibrate. The Odyssey had created an opening, and humans exploited it expertly, slipping past the blockade into a relatively safe corridor. "Captain," Dr. Vance said, eyes wide. "They'll never expect that. They have raw power, but we've proven strategy and creativity can win where brute force cannot." Ilara nodded. "Humans survive by thinking differently. That's what keeps us alive. That's what makes us formidable." The humans had not only survived, they had impressed, baffled, and unsettled the Empire. Commanders who once saw humans as insignificant intruders were beginning to question their assumptions. How could a species so small, so seemingly fragile, act with such skill and bravery? Amid the tension, humans also began to build alliances. Minor species oppressed by the Empire quietly observed, and whispers spread about a species that did not hesitate, that did not obey fear, and that acted boldly even in the face of overwhelming odds. Some began to see humans as a symbol of hope, of courage, and of ingenuity. One evening, as the Odyssey floated through the calm darkness of a star cluster, Captain Ilara addressed her crew. "We have faced the Empire head-on and survived. We have shown them that humans are unpredictable, clever, and fearless. Every move we make teaches them something new, and every action we take strengthens us." Tariq shook his head, disbelief in his voice. "I never thought humans could do this. Against the Empire? They should have destroyed us." Ilara smiled faintly. "They haven't destroyed us because humans never hesitate. We see possibilities, take risks, and act boldly. That's our greatest strength." Dr. Vance looked at the stars beyond the viewports, awe in her eyes. "Captain, I think we're inspiring more than just fear. Even the Empire is learning from us." Ilara's expression turned serious. "Not yet. We are still intruders, still in enemy space, but humans survive where others fail. and when humans survive, we thrive. As the days passed, the humans continued to navigate the Empire's territory, using cunning, speed, and ingenuity to overcome challenges. Every patrol, every blockade, every threat became an opportunity to demonstrate audacity. The Galactic Empire, vast and powerful, had never encountered a species like humans. They were resourceful, fearless, and unpredictable. Where others saw impossible odds, humans saw possibilities. Where others hesitated, humans acted. And as the Odyssey moved forward, deeper into Empire space, one truth became clear. Humans were not just survivors, they were forces of change, symbols of courage, and masters of boldness. The stars ahead shimmered with danger and opportunity, and humans were ready. They would continue to challenge, to explore, and to prove that no matter the might of the Empire, no matter the scale of the threat, humans never hesitated. The galaxy was watching, and humanity's legend was growing. The Odyssey glided through the outskirts of the Empire's capital system, its hull gleaming faintly under the light of the central star. This was the heart of the Galactic Empire, the center of power, influence, and control. Countless species had feared approaching this place. Humans? They had no fear. Captain Lyra Jensen stood in the command center, eyes fixed on the holographic projection of the Imperial capital. Massive orbital cities spun in perfect alignment, guarded by fleets of ships larger than anything humans had ever faced. For most, this sight would have been terrifying. For humans, it was a challenge, a puzzle to be solved, a test of courage and ingenuity. "Status report," Lyra said. Lieutenant Tariq's voice was steady, though tension was clear. "Imperial defenses are extensive, Captain. Shield grids are massive, weapon systems are ready, and multiple fleets patrol every orbit. Any misstep and we'll be destroyed instantly." Dr. Lila Vance, scanning energy signatures, said, "Captain, they've adapted to our maneuvers. They're predicting our actions faster now, but there's a pattern in their adjustments. Every correction they make opens another small gap." Lyra smiled faintly. "Humans survive not by waiting for perfection, but by exploiting opportunities. That's what we will do. Prepare the ship for maximum maneuverability. Every system on the Odyssey must be ready." As the human ship approached the capital system, Imperial scouts detected them almost immediately. Holographic warnings lit the command center. "Intruder detected, high priority target. Open a channel," Lyra ordered. The calm voice of the Imperial Admiral echoed in the cabin. "Unidentified vessel," the Admiral said, his tone deep and commanding. "You have entered the central system of the Galactic Empire. Your presence is unauthorized. Surrender immediately or be destroyed." Lyra leaned forward, hands resting lightly on the console. "We did not enter your space to fight. We are explorers. We come in peace, but we will not hesitate to defend ourselves or others if threatened." There was a long pause. Then the Admiral replied, "Explorers do not reach the heart of the Empire without permission. You are reckless. But I am intrigued. Proceed with caution. One misstep and you will be destroyed." Lyra turned to her crew. "Caution doesn't mean hesitation. We move, we adapt, we survive. Every action counts. Let's show them what humans can do." The Odyssey navigated past massive orbital cities, weaving through patrols with precision that no Imperial commander could have predicted. Every move was calculated yet bold. Decoys, holographic doubles, and unpredictable bursts of speed made the humans almost untouchable. Hours passed as the humans slipped past multiple patrols. Finally, they approached the central station of the capital system where the Empire's power core and command hub were located. Destroying it would be suicide, but infiltrating it, studying it, and making their presence known could create opportunities beyond imagination. "Dr. Vance," Lyra said, "what can we do to make our presence felt without provoking total destruction?" Dr. Vance analyzed the system quickly. "There's a communication relay. It links every fleet in the system. If we can broadcast a simple demonstration of capability and ingenuity, it will get the Empire's attention without provoking aggression." Lyra nodded. "Then do it. Let the galaxy see humans in action." The crew worked swiftly, deploying a holographic demonstration of human ingenuity. Complex maneuvers around energy grids, clever manipulation of gravitational anomalies, and daring, coordinated movement that highlighted both skill and bravery. Every action was deliberate, precise, and audacious. Imperial commanders watched in shock. "This species, it's impossible," one said. "Their tactics, Unpredictable, fearless, and effective. They adapt in real time to every scenario. No training can prepare for this. Humans were not just surviving, they were impressing, challenging, and inspiring. The demonstration caused a stir among minor species watching the Empire. They had never seen a species act with such courage, cleverness, and unity. Humans became a symbol of audacity and hope. But the real challenge came when a fleet of the Empire's elite ships approached, intent on capturing or destroying the Odyssey. The humans were outnumbered, outgunned, and seemingly overmatched. Yet every crew member acted with confidence and courage. Ilara's voice was calm, determined. Engage evasive patterns. Use every decoy, every trick, every maneuver. Remember, humans never hesitate. The Odyssey twisted through space like a living creature, weaving between firepower, dodging energy beams, and exploiting every minor flaw in the Imperial fleet's coordination. Holographic doubles caused confusion. Energy pulses misdirected attacks, and gravitational anomalies were used to gain unexpected speed. The humans' fearlessness and ingenuity stunned the Empire. For the first time, commanders admitted to themselves that they could not predict the humans' next move. The Invincible seemed vulnerable, yet humans remained safe. "Captain," Tariq said, voice tense with exhilaration. "We've broken through their formation. The path to the core station is open but heavily monitored." Ilara's eyes gleamed. "Then we proceed boldly with precision." And without hesitation, the Odyssey moved forward, its systems coordinated like a single organism. Every crew member acted instinctively, responding to threats before they became problems. Imperial ships adjusted, fired, and attempted interception, but each action was countered with human ingenuity. Finally, the Odyssey reached the station's outer perimeter. Dr. Vance uploaded data collected during their journey, star charts, energy readings, and observations of the Empire's fleet movements. They did not destroy anything, but their presence was undeniable. Humans had shown they could reach the heart of the Empire and act without fear. A long silence followed. Then the Admiral's voice returned. "Humans, you have done the impossible. You reached the center of the Empire and survived. You have courage, ingenuity, and unpredictability. You are unlike any species we have ever encountered." Ilara nodded. "We are humans. We face challenges, adapt to obstacles, and never hesitate. That is our strength." The Admiral paused, as if weighing words carefully. "Perhaps there is value in observing you further, not as intruders but as a species to understand. We will allow your departure for now, but remember, humans, audacity has its place and so does caution." Ilara smiled faintly. "We understand. But humans never hesitate when faced with opportunity or danger. That is who we are." As the Odyssey began its journey out of the Empire's capital system, the crew felt a sense of triumph. They had survived the impossible. They had challenged a civilization that spanned galaxies, displayed courage and ingenuity, and emerged unscathed. Minor species, observing from the shadows, began to whisper tales of the humans. They spoke of a species that did not fear power, that acted with boldness and unity, and that faced the unknown with courage. Humans became a symbol of hope, a reminder that strength was not only in weapons or numbers but in creativity, audacity, and courage. Ilara addressed her crew one last time before leaving the system. "We entered the Empire's space by accident, but we survived, learned, and showed the galaxy what humans can do. Remember this, humans never hesitate. We act, we adapt, and we thrive. That is our legacy." The stars stretched endlessly before them. Unknown worlds, unknown species, and unknown dangers awaited. But the humans aboard the Odyssey knew one truth above all. Wherever they went, whatever challenge they faced, they would meet it head-on. The Galactic Empire had witnessed the impossible, and the humans had proven that courage, ingenuity, and fearlessness could defy even the most powerful civilization in the galaxy. As the Odyssey sailed into the unknown, Captain Ilara Jensen looked at her crew with pride. They had not only survived, they had made their mark. The galaxy would remember them. Humans never hesitated, and they never would. In the endless darkness of space, among the stars that glimmered like countless possibilities, humanity's legend had only just begun.